Welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm your host, Tony Glini, and on today's show, we're hanging out at the Ames Animal Shelter. Our guest today is Ron Edwards. Thank you for being on the show today, Ron.
Absolutely great to be here.
So Ron, will you tell us a little bit about what you do on a daily basis?
Sure. Every day is different here at the Ames Animal Shelter and Animal Control. I think that's what makes our job really exciting. So we never know what's going to happen and what animals are going to come into the shelter. So we start off the morning by, of course, feeding all the animals, making sure they're all okay, take care of them, clean them, make sure that they're all thriving and doing well in the shelter environment. At the same time, we're responding to calls in the field for animals in distress, maybe animals locked in vehicles, especially now at this time in the summer, and responding to citizens' requests. So that includes things like picking up deceased animals from the street. That's part of our job we don't like, but it's a very important part of the job that we do here for our community. So again, every day is different, and there's always something new that enlightens our day.
And how long have you been working here?
I've been with the City of Ames now in August, so next month it'll be 4 years. So nice 4 years, great 4 years here at this agency, and I've been doing animal care and control for 32 years. So 4 years is a very small part of that 32 years, but very happy to be here with the City of Ames.
Yep. I heard that you recently went to a national animal conference.
Yes, I was very honored to speak at the Best Friends National Conference this year. It is a national conference, and people come from all over the United States and even beyond. Some people from Canada there. And they're a great organization that really does a tremendous work to help save animals' lives. And again, I was honored to be asked to speak to talk about how in our community, how we've reached no-kill status, which means that more than 90%, and some of our animals we're at 97%, we have a live release rate. So that means animals that come in here to the shelter, 97% of them are leaving the shelter, whether they're going back to their original owners or maybe we're finding new homes for them. So it's a great achievement that I'm very proud of. The staff should be very proud of the work that they do. And our community here, it's a great achievement to be recognized by a national organization, especially an organization as big as Best Friends. So it's just a great honor and very proud to talk about that and the things that we've achieved here with the animals at our shelter.
So what are some services you provide here?
Well, one of the primary functions that we do here at an animal shelter is to care for homeless animals. So all the animals here at the shelter, for whatever reason, whether they came into us as strays, the owners couldn't find them, or owners that had to surrender their pets for whatever reason. Maybe they had a life emergency and things happen and people can no longer care for them, or they lost their job or their home. We care for animals and make sure that they're provided for during these difficult times for people. And of course our goal is to not have them in the shelter long term. We want to find homes for them, and we know that animals are so much better in a home environment than they are here in the shelter. Although we do our best to try to make them as comfortable while they're here. They all have toys and blankets, and so we do our best to make sure that they're cared for, and that we're doing all that we can to reduce their stress while they're here, and again hopefully find that forever home and find a great match for them. So that's one of the primary functions of the animal shelter. And of course I mentioned the animal control duties. So we're responding in the field, helping animals that are in distress in our community, picking up animals that are in traps or may have been hit by cars, getting them emergency medical care. So those are probably the two primary responses. So the animal sheltering and the animal control operations is our primary function here.
And on the topic of animals, what kind of animals do you shelter here?
Well, quite a range. I would say the two primary, of course, are cats and dogs, and we do get a lot more cats here than we do dogs. We get dogs that come in, and we have over a 97% rate of reclaim on stray animals. So if a stray dog comes into the shelter, 97% of them are returned back to their owners. So we have a great, responsible community. Unfortunately, it's not the same for cats. We're probably at about 19% of the cats that are reclaimed by their owners. So we have a lot more cats here at the shelter on any given day, always a lot more cats. And our needs are so much more for cats, and donations and things like that are cat related. Probably the third most common animal we have here at the shelter are rabbits, so domesticated rabbits that are available for adoption. And kind of the same situation with them where they came in as strays, nobody claimed them, or somebody had to surrender them because maybe they couldn't care for them any longer. So dogs, cats, rabbits pretty much are the primary, but we do get in turtles, snakes, rats, ferrets, iguanas, hamsters, mice, just a huge variety. And again, it's what makes this job really unique is that we never know what's going to come in the front door, and we're always kind of ready for something to come in and, figure out how we got to care for it and try to get it to an appropriate environment.
Okay, so during the summer, it gets very, very hot.
Yep.
So what is a temperature that it starts to get dangerous to leave your pets in a car?
Sure. There's a lot of different factors, and it's kind of hard to say one blanket statement is, it really, some of it depends on the type of dog you have. So if you have a dog that has a smaller snout, so it doesn't have the long nose like a German Shepherd would or something like that, if you have a pug where the nose seems like it's smushed in their face, those dogs have a harder time breathing in just normal environments. So when the temperature is hot like that, those animals can suffer much sooner than a German Shepherd would.
Okay.
So I typically say, anything over 65, if it's going to be sunny outside and the temperature is 65, I say leave them at home. If you know you're going to be out going shopping, doing things, even if it's less than 65, just leave them at home.
Yeah.
I know dogs like car rides, so maybe you need to make a special trip with your dog, drive around the block. When you know you're only going around the block, you're not going to stop anywhere and go shopping. Because there's so many factors that play into a dangerous environment. So at 70 degrees, so just 70 degrees, and most people think that's a really nice day and you got the sun out, within 10 minutes, the car has already reached almost 90 degrees.
Oh, wow.
In just 10 short minutes. And you think of the time that it takes you to go into a store, do some shopping, go down a few aisles, that's a lot more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And what people have to remember is that dogs do not sweat like people do. So we can sweat, it comes out of our pores, we can help cool ourselves off, we can fan ourselves. Dogs cannot do that. They actually need cool air to pass over their tongue to help regulate their temperature. They also expel heat out of their paws. So if they're sitting on a car seat that registers at 140 degrees, and we've had that even just last week.
Oh no.
When we check the temperature on the surface and a dog is sitting on a temperature that's 140 degrees, there is no heat going from the dog to that seat. It's all coming back up.
Okay.
So you can really have a very dangerous situation in a very, very short period of time. And cracking the windows, leaving the sunroof open, has been proven, and there's many, many tests, has been proven to basically do nothing to help them. Basically, your car is acting like a greenhouse, and that heat is just continuing to soak into the pet. And we've had situations where we've had to have the police department come out, get into the vehicle, and remove the animal from the vehicle. And those people have to answer to a judge as to why they made a mistake like that.
Yeah.
And it could have been life-threatening, and there's just no reason to do it. They're so much safer at home. Number one, it's their environment they're used to. It's usually a controlled environment. Even if you don't have air conditioning at home, it's still better than sitting in a greenhouse car that's going to cook them, essentially.
Yeah. Well, good tips to remember.
Thank you. Yeah, I wish we have far too many calls every single summer responding to those. Last year was 157. This year we're already getting really close to, I know at the end of the summer we're going to exceed that number, and that's a really sad statistic.
Yeah, so people should probably listen to you.
Not just me. This is information that's given out, nationwide on TV shows and radio shows and everything, and people are leaving pets and children in vehicles, and animals and children are not making it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot.
And that is very sad to see that in 2017 that this is still happening at the rate it is.
That's true. Well, on a happier topic,
yes.
Let's walk through the adoption process.
Sure. Well, we have a lot of great people coming in here to adopt our pets, and what we want to do is make the best match. So we want to make sure that the pet that they're considering to adopt is going to fit into their family. So if they're a very, very active family and they like to go jogging and hiking and camping and want to take the dog with them, chances are they're probably not going to adopt a senior geriatric dog that has trouble walking. So that's kind of making that match. kind of along the same lines, if we have a senior citizen that has limited mobility and maybe uses a walker or cane, we're probably not going to adopt a puppy or a kitten to them because they like to get under your feet, and climb up your legs and do things and all that stuff. Not in a mean way, but that's just the way puppies and kittens are. So we want to make a good match, and that probably wouldn't be a good match either. So it's really about us getting to know the animals that are here at the shelter and kind of getting to know the adopters, the potential adopters when they come in. We have them fill out an application. First we have them look at the animals, and if they see one that they're interested in, there's information on their kennel records. If they see one that they're interested in, we have them come up here to the office. We talk a little bit more about it. Then we have them complete an adoption application, and each one is specific to a dog, cat, or rabbit, or other type animal like a bird or maybe a turtle. And then once we have that application, then we can go through with them and talk about the special needs and special care that these animals, this particular animal may require. Maybe it's on a special diet or something. And then really kind of we do adoption counseling. So it's really trying to get to know them better, trying to introduce them more to the pet, having that one-on-one conversation, and trying to make that good match with them. So it sounds like a long process. It doesn't really have to be. It's really just kind of getting to know people better so we can make sure that we're making a good match, because we want it to be a forever home. We don't want the pet to be returned here to the part of that process is really, again, just getting to know the people and the pet.
Are there any volunteer opportunities here?
We do have volunteer opportunities here at the shelter. We do ask for a 1-year commitment. We do get a lot of volunteers that want to just come in for a few days or maybe even just one day and do a project. And we have some other opportunities for that. But our volunteers, we ask for that commitment. We do ask them to volunteer at least 4 hours a month. Up to 1 year. And of course we want them for longer than that, but that's kind of the minimum requirement that we have them do, so they can contact the shelter. We try to do everything by email, and have them send us an email at animalsandames@cityofames.org. And that provides them an opportunity for us. We send the information back to them by email, the application, as well as the program information. It tells them kind of what to expect when you're in a shelter. You know, it's not just petting puppies and kittens. We do ask them to get involved and help us with the cleaning and help us with laundry and dishes. There's never-ending supply of laundry and dishes here. So it's always nice to get our volunteers to help the staff out with that. And of course there is time for loving the animals and spending time with them too. So that's a real important part of our job here, and part of the volunteers' job.
What is the best place for somebody to go to look for information on animals that are up for adoption?
Sure. We have an amazing program. It's called Chameleon. It's a database software that we have here for the shelter. And within 15 minutes of every animal that we bring here to the shelter, we take a picture of it. And within 15 minutes, that animal's picture and some basic information is on our website, which is amesanimalshelter.org. So it's a real quick link to us to get here to the to our website. They can click on animals available for adoption, and each one is separated by cats, dogs, and others. So if they're looking for a rabbit, they can click under the rabbit picture, others available for adoption, and they can see if we have any rabbits for adoption, which we have 2, by the way, currently. Or if they're looking for a dog, they can click on the dogs, and it'll show them a picture of the dog that we have here at the shelter for adoption. If they've lost their pets, it's the same website. Just a few links down below that, they can see lost dogs at the shelter. So if anyone's lost a dog or a cat or any kind of pet here in our community in Ames, we want to have them click on our website. And again, those pictures are up every 15 minutes. And it's updated. If we make updates in our database, every 15 minutes it's updated. So we have new information coming in. So, you know, if you've lost your pet late at night and we're closed, always check our website, because then you can know if Fluffy is here at the shelter safe and sound, and then get in touch with us first thing in the morning. So we're very proud of our website and the access that people can go on. They can also report their lost pets too, so they can upload a picture of their pet that they're missing, fill out an information form, and that automatically alerts all of our staff members by email, letting us know that a particular pet is missing, so we can kind of keep our eyes and ears out if we hear something that may match the description of a pet they've lost, and hopefully make a reunification very quickly.
That's amazing.
it's it's really helped us to increase our animal reclaims in a shorter period of time. So in the past, we didn't have this database, so people had to rely on calling the shelter, coming down to the shelter. So now they can see them real time, see what animals we have here for adoption or for pets that they may have lost.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for being on the show today, Ron.
Absolutely. I really appreciate the time.
If you would like more information about the Ames Animal Shelter, follow them on Facebook or visit their website at amesanimalshelter.org. Well, that's our show for today. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in next week for This Week in Ames.